The- If you get a recommendation from someone, uh, it was what if Goku was in high school DxD and it should have been Goku X Orpheus. I couldn't think of a way how I would actually like make it without having to rewatch the entire anime. I tried to look for a fun fact, but I couldn't find the one specific where I would get Orpheus ship. So the person who recommended this, was Dan XX23. I'm sorry if you really don't get that Orpheus ship in this one. Really, am sorry, but alright. So speaking, so the backstory. The story is set in an alternate universe where after the fight of Goku and Frieza, the planet Namek explode and turn into a dimension warp. Chapter 1, An Unexpected Turn of Events, DBZ Universe. Goku, the last of the Saiyan race, was on the friendliest and was one of the friendliest and nicest person anyone had ever met. His personality great opposite to that of any other Saiyans. He he was calm, attractive, and pure of heart, traits quality possessed by none other than the one and only Son Goku. But right now, nothing could describe the difference from his unusual self. The expression of pain, hate, and regret can be easily seen on his face. Goku was watching the Namek seas indifferent from above where he had just blasted the self-proclaimed Emperor of the Galaxy, the Tyrant Frieza. He had finally defeated the monster after becoming the legendary Super Saiyan. But at what cost? The life of his best friend Krillin? Goku had lost more than one of his dear friends during his life. In pursuit of the Dragon Ball, he saved the world, and as his Saiyan persisted, more power, and here he was, the strongest in the universe, and yet he felt nothing. What was there to feel? He had just lost his best friend. What was the use of the power if you had no one to share it with? He was not like Frieza. Millions groveling at his feet brought him no more pleasure than having to bury his own prince. He was a protector, not a destroyer. Krillin, I'm sorry you had to die. I promise I won't let any more innocent perish in front of me like that, mumbled Goku as his tears flowed down his cheek. Suddenly, a volcano burst from the dynamic, roughly jolting the mountain, sending them back to reality. Damn! Even Frieza had been defeated. He had made sure to leave the mark, bring an entire planet down with him, as as if killing off all inhabitants was not enough. He speeded up as fast as he could, ignoring the burning pain of his muscle as he pushed beyond his limits, zipping through the lava geyser as they shot from the earth, and the collapsing rock column crushes everything beneath him. He winces as his tears turn his eyes against dust and wind, continuing to scan the surrounding for something, anything he need to leave. Google had survived devastating planet destroying attacks, blasts that could wipe out billions of us at a single count, and he couldn't survive the vacuum of space. 100 meters below the surface, he saw a hope of shining light through an escape pod. That must have been the one Vegeta used to arrive here. Goku thanks, thanked the falling prince silently. He rushed over to the pod without making any delay. He almost burst down the doorland when he managed to get it open. There was a button at the side. What greeted him was a large area of knobs, screens, and buttons scattered across the interior. Being basically illiterate, he didn't understand a thing. Why could he press? What did they all do? Why didn't he attend school with Gohan? Without time to spare, he strapped himself in and started to push everything fiercely. The pod door closed and launched violently. Goku had also managed to activate a map, some sort of cleansing gas to take bath with. There were no showers while swimming through space after all. An oxygen mask, and finally he felt the pod lift. Goku gritted his teeth as he head banged against the top of the shot towards without warning. Soon the ship crossed the atmosphere, and then it happened. The whole planet exploded, leaving nothing but space and dust behind. The pod shook violently to the shockwave, but there was not much damage. They were still traveling at a random course he had set while button mashing. If I got the D, but if I that's one such or that's what he thought. The pod abruptly changed its course, and he felt it spin around Fran- Franken, frantically had could see light zoom past them. From the small porthole in the pod, he felt his stomach launch, and Goku suppressed the urge to puke. As he was thrown about in the small cramped area, hitting his head multiple times, he felt his vision blur, his energy fading away, and the pain of his wound acquired from the brutal battle take over. Then all at first ceased, he relaxed. Even his leg felt limp, and a blackness swept over his brain. He wiped out fear. It it wiped out terror. There was no more panic. It was quiet and peaceful. Nothing to be afraid of. This is nice. To go to sleep. No need to resist. Too tired to resist. It's nice to be carried, to float in space. Tender arms wrapped around him. Tender arms like Gohan's. He must go to sleep. Am I dying? Am I dead? The last thing he saw was blurry and the space dust of Namek before he slipped into blissful unconscious. DxT Universe. There's a peaceful night in the human world. Risk Murray, the president of the Orc Research Club, and secretly the heir to the Grammary family, was on her way back to her club. Today was quite an overwhelming day. First, she had to find out that the infamous pervert Issei possessed the sacred gear. Secondly, she had found him dead in the park this evening. Third, she had to resurrect and heal him. She was still wondering why she did that. Actually, the more important and most importantly, she needed a bath. She gazed up at the dark sky, and her eyes widened as she saw a shooting star zoom past. Silently, she wished that she wasn't so busy and had more time to spare. But at last, being the heiress of the demon family, she had a huge burden on her shoulders, and packed schedule could not be avoided. Reyes sighed. Suddenly, she sensed a huge power level. Is it is it is it some ultimate class devil who is coming to inquire about my progress in the human world? Is it the leader of the fallen angel, or perhaps one of the high class angels? No, this was a different energy from that of devils. Angels are fallen angels. It was something else. She concentrated and located the source of large power, and it was. Wait, since when does shooting star emanate power so similar to a living being and such huge amount? Hold on, is that thing going to land? My club. Wasting no time, Reese rushed towards her club, just in time to see the shooting star crash through the roof of the building close to her club, leaving a pile of smoke debris in its wake. Fortunately for her, the surrounding buildings were vacant, and thus there were no commotion and no one hurt. Ray's eyes widened in surprise as she reached the crash site. A young man seemed to be not much older than her was laying unconscious among the rubble. He was still breathing. Quite an quite an amazing feat to consider his injuries. There was dry blood around this space pod. Was it? It certainly wasn't a shooting star now. What shocked her the most, though, was the level of energy radiating from the newcomer. Despite his unconscious and wounded state, Reyes hesitated, walked towards the stranger, and find him or cold, picked him up, and entered the club. Damn, this guy is heavy, Reyes muttered as she threw him on the bed, her eyes surveying every inch of his body. A low whistle escaped her lips. Wow, a quite muscular man, aren't you? Rhys licked her lips as she smirked. Maybe. No, that wouldn't be right. Oof. Oh, for the love of. Her hand reached the button. I don't think. Let's continue where we left off. Her hand reached the button of her shirt as she started to unbutton down. She shrugged it off and it slid down her shoulders onto the floor. Next, she unstrapped her bra and threw it down. Her body felt a little hot and impatient. Let's skip that. Let's completely skip that. Because I don't know who she's trying to seduce when the nigga's asleep. Without wasting another second, she crawled under his sheet and embraced Goku tightly. Her fingers wrapped around his tight muscles and abs, stopped at the belt of his pants before going just a little, tiny below. Let's skip that. A few hours later, it was morning. Sunlight streamed in through a small window covered by a set of blinds. Goku groaned discontent as his eyes flickered open very briefly, then shut as the light temporarily blinded him. Damn the sun. If only it had risen later. He still wanted to sleep just just a little longer. Wait, what? Sunrise? Am I am I alive? But how? He thought. He was sure getting sucked into the space hold meant certain death for him. A small chuckle escaped his lips. He always been an awesome escape artist, as she put it, and able to get out of the most scarf scarf alive. Coco felt something warm and soft on his back. His eyes widened in surprise as he saw a beautiful redhead laying in his bed with him. A visible blush stained his cheek as the girl hugged him back, probably, probably still in sleep. A comfortable smile formed on her face as she rubbed her cheeks against his skin and pushed herself close to the same, her against Goku's arm. Some things I cannot say, as I'm a violent problem. Goku got up suddenly, trying not to disturb the girl's sleep. Just as he stood up, his leg accidentally slipped on the bra, lying on the floor, making him plop backwards onto the bed and right into the sleeping beauty. He let out a small eep and then turned around, come face to face with her. Then, their nose inches from touching, he flushed slightly. Then he realized his hand was on her, was on something. Let's skip the part a little bit. Goku watched in confusion when he heard her flash. He saw so smile spread across her face. Bulma had told him the humans was very sensitive, but he never thought that they could be so big, big, and soft and smooth. Like Bulma expected hers were smaller. Goku decided to press and squeeze her. How do you say? It's, let's just skip that part. I'm not getting a problem. Gently curious, he couldn't understand why she was making such sounds, but she seemed to enjoy it. With a child like a curious face, Goku squeezed to extreme further. Squeeze, press, squeeze. I'm not saying what comes after. You are you're quite a perverted guy, aren't you? Wondered the girl with a smile as she slowly opened her eyes. Perverted? What does that mean? Goku blinked confused. Wow, you don't know what that means. Wrist rock her head. Sorry, I'm just saying. Cocked her head when she saw Goku shake his head. Oh, that's so cute. You're a naive person. Kind of gonna take that. You know, I'm gonna shut up. It really, it, it's really difficult to find someone as innocent as you. Rich Mumble smirked as she stroked Goku's cheek. Goku, being Goku, still didn't understand what was going on. Suddenly, the door of the room opened, revealing another beautiful girl with long black hair and violet eyes. Arara, what's this? A new devil member. The girl appreciate the new man's bare chest. No, he isn't a devil, at least that's what I think, Grace muttered before getting out of bed, making sure to brush her body against Coco a few more times for extra measure, and threw it on her crumbled uniform. So, so is he your new boyfriend, President? Tease Akuna. What? No, no, I'm not going through that. She turned crimson. Serious, turning crimson. Sorry for interrupt, but what's going on? Where am I? Goku was confused. He had tried to sense the Kai of his friend and family. Of course, even he was not clueless, but they were nowhere to be found. He had picked up some power levels, not entirely humans, but they were higher than normal and some even extraordinary ones. The girl present in the room were also more powerful than an average human. You are on Earth, of course. Akuno with her usual smile. No, that's not possible. This isn't the same Earth that I know. Goku browsed forward in deep thought. Do you remember anything about last night, Alex? Yes. Yeah, I think I was in my ship, but there suddenly everything went blank. I was in space. Goku answered honestly. You're about to crash into the club room. I found you injured in a rubble, and with the spaceship thingy of yours, I decided to heal you. Although my method isn't exactly the most decent one, I must say. Hope you didn't mind. Wrist wink decisively, crossed her arms and displayed her cleavage. She had left the top few buttons undone and had not put on the bra. For certain reasons, of course. It's there to say it. But you hear me so fast. Did you have a cinch pain? How did you do that? That's easy, because I'm a devil. We go to the underworld. In the underworld, the sudden appearance of the Saint was not unnoticed by the high class devil. Most of the clans were quite worried about the newcomer. They called for a meeting where the greatest devil and most terrifying demons gathered to discuss and clear the doubts, or in some cases, deepen that the is suspected it was the work of the fallen angels, though had no evidence to back it up. What intel do we have about the newcomer as leader of the four Satans, Cersei, Lucifer? Pause. I come back. Almost nothing, sadly, replied the father of the Lord Grimmery. He appeared out of thin air, literally. There is no evidence of his prior existence, and such power is unheard of. He's strong enough to challenge and win against all of us. Do we really have to talk about this? What in damn name ya? Why they nang a complicated name? Me nah say it. Me nah say it. No, me nah say it. They name too damn complicated if you say it. My third board. Any name anything you hear me skip, either inappropriate and can't say it, or it too damn complicated for say I me nah say it. Sure. It would have been better if you had taken your responsibility as a Satan in charge of the military affairs. Lord Phoenix narrowed his eyes. Where's that newcomer right now? Asked Lord Gremory. He is currently with your sister right now, Sir Sama. If I may add, he doesn't seem to be an enemy for now, informed Grafia. Silence filled the room as everyone absorbed this information. None of them had expected the new man to be targeted Lucifer's sister. So what do we do then? Nasid asked. We will wait. If this guy dares to hurt a single strand of my sister here, then I'll personally deal with him, Cersei growled. If the father said the nigga can literally take, I am black, I am alright to say it. If the father said he can take up all of you, what do you think he can do? Like, what do you think he can do? Anyways, this comes to an end of chapter 1. If you guys want chapter 2 or part 2, comment down below and leave 5 likes. But the creator for this fun fact has a few more things to say. So let's read this, guys. So if you guys want to leave now, you can leave. Or if you want to find out what's going on, you can stick around same way. Okay, this first chapter is done and nice. I hope you guys enjoy it. Also, I hope you didn't find Goku. What the fuck is OOC? I do not know what is OOC. I really don't. In my story, as I try my best to keep him in character. So here is the power level of Goku compared to the DHC verse. Goku's base above Ultimate Class Devil, Kaioken times 2 above God and Satan, Kaioken times 4 above 4 dragons, Kaioken times 20 above Orpheus and Great Red, Super Saiyan, more stronger than anyone in the whole verse. Now, that's what the creator wanted to say. As I said, like if you want part 2 or chapter 2, 5 likes and I do part 2. So I'm not even gonna ask you guys to subscribe because really and truly, if this keeps going down, I just stop doing so. I already care if you guys. I'm really so sorry, but do like the video if you guys still want me to continue. Anyways, this is Saint God here, and I'm signing out. Peace.